All right, let's grab a coffee and have some real talk today about the invisible reality of AI in America. We aren't going to look at this like stiff news anchors. We're looking at it practically, because right now, beneath the daily headlines, massive, completely unprecedented shifts are already underway, and we absolutely need to understand what this revolution actually means for our future. Here is a staggering projection that's going to hit you right between the eyes. By the year 2030, nearly half the jobs currently done by humans in America could be wiped out completely. Not just shifted around, not given a fancy new title, gone. We constantly hear that new jobs just magically replace old ones without any friction, but the raw data we're seeing points to a volume of immediate replacement we've literally never seen before. And to make this real, just think about the people around you. A friend who's worked in a warehouse for 6 years, your family's trusted accountant, or maybe a cousin working at a Texas call center. Those roles, they are highly, highly vulnerable right now. And it's not some sci-fi Terminator robot kicking down the door to take these jobs. It's software, it's AI that is already sitting right there in our pockets, our hospitals, and our schools. Which brings us to our first main topic: follow the money, the corporate reality. Just look at the sheer, mind-blowing scale of the capital involved here. Tech giants, we're talking Microsoft, Google, Amazon, Meta, poured over $67 billion into U.S. AI investments in 2024 alone. That's billion with a B. That single-year figure completely dwarfs the GDP of entire nations. They aren't just experimenting for fun, they are pouring hundreds of billions into this space because the return on investment is massive. And we can see those investments paying off literally instantly. For example, by integrating AI and advanced robotics into their warehouses, Amazon slashed their operational costs by a staggering 25%. I mean, that is a massive boost to the bottom line, proving exactly why corporations are rushing at breakneck speed to adopt this technology. But it's not just warehouses, right? It's the entire service sector. Bank of America is now handling millions of customer calls using AI, with absolutely zero human intervention. This kind of ruthless corporate efficiency isn't just some abstract conversation about the distant future. It's happening today, right under our noses, and it's a huge wake-up call. Let's move on to the next piece of the puzzle, the Great Divide, and what actually happens to our jobs. So Goldman Sachs released a huge report detailing this reality, and they predict AI could automate up to 300 million jobs globally. And here in America, between 25 to 30% of the workforce could see their jobs entirely replaced. That is a massive, undeniable chunk of our economy facing severe disruption. Let's break down what's actually at risk here. The hardest hit jobs are the ones involving repetitive tasks: data entry, basic customer service, truck driving, even legal research and reading x-rays. But on the flip side, and this is key, AI is creating entirely new, high-demand categories. Roles like prompt engineers, AI trainers, data specialists. These are jobs that didn't even exist 5 years ago, and they're routinely paying six-figure salaries. So what we are watching is a great divide forming in real time. Those who learn to adapt and use AI, they become incredibly leveraged. Think of one lawyer doing the work of three, or a single marketer replacing a whole creative team. They become unstoppable. But those who choose to ignore these tools risk becoming obsolete, honestly, exactly like the businesses in the 90s that laughed off the internet as just a passing fad. Okay, let's look at Section 3, Main Street AI, the real-life impact. If we shift our focus away from Silicon Valley for a second, the micro impacts happening across Main Street America are honestly incredible. In rural healthcare, AI is out there catching early-stage cancers that human eyes missed. It's not replacing doctors, it's literally saving lives. In education, kids in underfunded schools in places like South Chicago and Mississippi are getting AI tutors adapted to their exact learning pace, which is totally democratizing personalized education. And get this, an Ohio bakery owner used AI to automate her scheduling, dropping her 80-hour work week down to 50. It literally gave her life back. But we have to look at the whole picture. Let's get into the next section, the dark side, actual threats unfolding. These advancements come with severe, non-hypothetical risks that are happening as we speak. First, deepfakes are posing a direct threat to democracy. Take the AI-generated robocall of a fake Joe Biden telling New Hampshire citizens not to vote during the primary. Then there's algorithmic bias, where AI hiring tools have actually downgraded resumes just based on zip codes or race. And finally, we're looking at a looming mental health crisis, as people increasingly replace actual human connection with AI companion apps. Because these threats are unfolding right now, society has to have a loud conversation about it.
History has shown us time and time again that we absolutely cannot expect tech companies to simply self-regulate. At the end of the day, their primary driver is profit, not public safety.
Which leads us to our final section, the road ahead, the next 5 to 10 years.
The most monumental shift on the horizon is AGI, Artificial General Intelligence. This is a system that can learn and perform essentially any intellectual task a human can even think of. Some researchers say we'll hit this in 5 years, others say 20. Actually, scratch that, the timeline isn't even the craziest part. The fascinating reality is that almost no expert believes it will never happen.
Meanwhile, adoption is just accelerating. The U.S. military is already deploying AI for logistics and cybersecurity, while local cities are testing it for traffic and crime prediction. But regulation, it is struggling to keep pace. Congress is battling over AI transparency, deepfake laws, and data privacy, which really highlights a stark contrast between lightning-fast technology and slow-moving legislation.
But despite these immense challenges, there is an empowering reality to remember here. America has historically always converted new technology into incredible opportunity. We didn't just adapt to the Industrial Revolution or the internet or smartphones. We led the way. And today, millions of everyday people are positioning themselves to do the exact same thing with AI.
Look, the reality is AI is not going back in the box. It's out, and it's going to completely reshape our jobs, our health, and our education. The absolute best thing you can do is stay curious, educate yourself, and ask the hard questions about the technology you interact with every single day. And hey, you don't need to be a computer scientist to grasp it. You've understood the core of it in just the last few minutes of this explainer.
So the question isn't whether this revolution is happening. The question is, are you paying attention? Because those who lean in and learn are the ones who will thrive in this new landscape. So let me leave you with this. What shocked you the absolute most about the data we covered today? Jump into the comments and let me know. And if this explainer brought you value, do me a favor and share it with a friend who needs this breakdown. Keep learning, stay curious, and I'll see you next time.